How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to another Shadowverse Evolve video here on Red Zone Rogue. Yo, we are so back because today we are going to be opening and reviewing, discussing the brand new Shadowverse Evolve Showdown decks. And these are, in my opinion, the best pre-constructed products currently on the TCG market. These are actually insane. These decks come with full play sets of competitive staples, some of which at one point or another were worth like upwards of $30 a piece. So for example, the Swordcraft deck here comes with a full play set, three of both for Evo and Unevo of something like Ralmia. The Shadowcraft deck basically has everything in it to build a competitive Wasteland Departed deck. Just from this, you have your full playset of Ices. It has Ilgano. This is like actually crazy, actually crazy value. You will eventually need to upgrade these with some of the newer cards and maybe some older cards as well. But man, these are an insane starting point. Without a doubt, now is the best time to start playing Shadowverse Evolve, or maybe get back into Shadowverse Evolve if you had played it before and you want to get back into it. Maybe you want to build, a sword deck. If you want to build like Earthright Rune or Dirt Rune, maybe you want to build Amulet Haven. We have one for every single class. So in today's video, we're actually going to open up and check out all 6 of these. At the end, I do kind of like a breakdown of all of them and tell you kind of like what the decks are like and all their archetypes and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, I'm really stoked for these. These are legitimately amazing. As always, I want to give a huge thank you and shout out to Bushiroad and Cygames for sending these to me. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our top down and check out the newest Shadowverse Evolve Showdown decks. Let's do it. All right, the moment we've been waiting for has finally arrived. Let's finally dig in to the Showdown decks. Now, of course, there is one for every single craft in the game. And yeah, they feature play sets of competitive staples, not just, bronze, silvers, and golds, but also legendary cards as well. As you can see from the box art here. Also going to mention the packaging, very small and compact, actually great for LGSs for like shelf space. I really like these. So yeah, let's go ahead and dig in. We're going to start with my favorite craft in the game. We're going to start with Shadowcraft, and then we're just kind of I don't know, randomly go from there. But if you just kind of want the TLDR on these, I think these are fantastic. These are the perfect way to get into Shadowverse Evolve. In fact, I believe these to be genuinely some of the best pre-constructed products on the entire TCG market. You get a playable competitive deck with play sets of staples right out of the box. And some of these decks have staples that have been fairly valuable in the past, which is just really good. Once again, no bells and whistles. It's just, you just have the little tuck box, and then we have the deck. Let's go ahead and take off the little pull tab here. We have a little punch out to help you, play the game. We also have a serial code for Shadowverse Worlds Beyond. That's pretty sweet. Serial code for an emblem. That's cool for the game. And then you also get a leader. Now, if you're familiar with Shadowverse Evolve, this is not one of like the thick scannable leaders or like the chip scannable, but you can scan this in using the app, using the photo mode. So you can do that. And yeah, it's awesome. And we have a full deck here. So let's get on with this. I do also want to mention that there's that mobile app, and I would highly recommend downloading the mobile app and using that when you play the deck. So we have our leader, Dial here, and then we have our deck. Now, as you can see, these cards are not foil, but we still, they're still playable, which I think is really good. I also think that's kind of cool because it helps differentiate if you're like a collector and you already have the L versions of these cards. You have the full versions and you don't have to go and get these ones. Or if you like the non-full versions, here you go. So anyway, we have Icy, Ishelendrig. This is a staple in Shadowcraft. Absolutely fantastic. And we should have a full playset of Icy here. If you're playing Shadowcraft at all, you're running Icy. Super strong. We also have a full playset of Milteo, also a Shadowcraft staple. So once again, you get playsets of competitive staples. And Ilgano, once again, a playset of a competitive staple legendary card. You get all 3 of these in the deck in full playsets. It's just absolutely fantastic. We'll set our leader over here. And then we have the rest of the deck. So we have Demon Lord Ektar. This is a fantastic card that I've played in a number of these decks. We have a playset of Dublame, Duke, and Dame. This is run in almost all, Abyss decks to some degree. We have the Great Pick Corpse, also run in basically all of the Wasteland Departed decks, which is kind of like the best deck at the time of this recording, before more sets come out. We have Kagero. Once again, just I run all of these for the most part in my own constructed deck, right? So this is like, you buy this and you get basically a fully constructed deck right out of the box. It's so good. So here's Crispy on the patch. We have Dead to Rights, absolutely fantastic card on this deck. Nice little removal there. We have Wretch, another really, really good one. I mean, these like I said, this is all literally cards that I've used in deck techs before. Like, this is, for the most part, the Wasteland Departed deck that I have currently built. So, crazy good. We have 2 Wretched Tryst. We have 1 Soul Strike. This is great. I also just run 1 Soul Strike, so this means that they paid a lot of attention when building these decks. They didn't put like needless copies, and they gave you multiples of ones that you actually do need. We have Grave Desecration. We have the Skeleton Dreamer. This is one that you'll probably want to upgrade, but I did play this guy at some point. We have the Wandering Chef, and then that's it for the main deck. For the Evo deck, we have 1 copy of Milteo Evolved. This one's great. You only really need 1 copy of Milteo Evolved. We have, we should have 3. Yeah, 3 copies of Icy. Definitely need your 3 copies of Icy. We also have 2 copies of Dublame, Duke, and Dame. Once again, this is the exact number I run in my own competitive decks. And then we should have 3 Wretch. Yep, perfect. Absolutely perfect. And then your 1 copy of Wandering Chef. If you're going to upgrade this deck, you probably want to take out the Skeleton Dreamer, Wandering Chef, some of these cards here, but it's extremely close to like just the competitive version I would run. And then we also have our tokens, which is once again fantastic. We have the Magitrain, Bullet Bike, and we have some blank tokens. Yo, let's go. We should also have our evolution points, and new mechanic, we have our super evolution point. So you get this at the start of the game. Each player gets a super evo point, and then when you pay an evolution cost, you may pay an additional super evo point by turning it face down and give the follower +1/+1 and trigger any on super evolve abilities. You can only use this turn 7 or later when going first, or turn 6 or later when going second. So yeah, we get super evolve, but you also have your regular evo points as well. I like getting the blank cards is really sweet. I always like getting artists to do like sketches on this. So the Abyss deck, absolutely fantastic right out of the box. Like literally a competitive list that I run myself. So if you want just an instant deck for Abyss, here you go. And this is true for all of these. We're going to go through all of these, but I just can't believe how good these are. These are like literally some of the best decks, like best pre-constructed decks on the TCG market right now. So I'm going to kind of set the decks over here. Let's check out Sword. Sword is a really, really cool one because the cards that you get in the Sword deck at one point were like extremely valuable. We're talking like $30 plus, and you get full play sets. So once again, they did not hold back on these. Like they actually put like competitive viable cards at full play sets. Not just kind of like a little cheeky thing here or there. These are super good. You also might have noticed with the Abyss deck, there's no new cards. These are meant to get players like into the game right now, not for existing players, unless you're an existing player or returning player who needs these cards. So here we have like the tokens and the little Shadowverse Worlds Beyond emblem thing. We also have Marie Melise. Very, very nice. Yeah, I like Marie. She's cool. And then we have one Bunny and Baron, but we should have a full playset. Yeah, here we go. We have a full playset, 3 of Bunny and Baron. Once again, absolute staples in Sword. We have Ralmia. This is a card that was very expensive for a while. You have just a full playset of Ralmia in the pre-constructed deck. Wild. And Not. Also a fairly valuable card. Just full playset, right in the pre-constructed deck. So these are the 3 legends we get here. We get Bunny and Baron, Ralmia, and Not, absolute slam dunks. Leod, once again, staple. Put this in almost all your sword decks. We have the Prudent General. Once again, I did a deck tech on this like a few months back, and literally you're gonna see all the cards that I put in that deck. We have the Radical Gunslinger. We have Tyrant's Order. This is a deck that really revolves around Not, and like the whole Wasteland package here. We have Outlaw Gunner. There are cards that you could additionally buy for this as well, but this is a brilliant start. We have Desperado Shot. We have Not's Henchman. We have Godsent Strike. The Quixotic Adventure. This one is used in a lot of these decks. We have your Revellion Bandit. And then we're kind of rounding it out with our Vagabond Lizard. And then for Evo, we should have, full 3 Ralmia. I like the full 3 Ralmia here because sometimes I only use like 2, but having the full 3 here is just super good. We have 2 of the Bunny and Baron, and then we should have a Leod, a Prudent General, and Quixotic Adventurer, and 2 Revellion Scouts. So yeah, I like how they just loaded you up here with the LRs. And then for tokens, we have Steelclad Knight, new art on this one. Val Trusty Getaway Car. We have the Dutiful Steeds, the Bullet Bikes, Arcane Personal Carrier, and then we have, of course, our Evo points and the Super Evo point. So once again, absolutely fantastic deck. Once again, love that you get the full 3 of Evo Ralmias. Yeah, I cannot praise these enough. These decks are actually legitimately good. These are exactly what I would want from a like pre-constructed deck. Like just super playable, super good right out of the box. Next up we have Dragoncraft. Now Dragoncraft, once again, as you'd guess, has some competitive staples in it. Now, it might not have the exact ones you want, but it does have some very good ones. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Dragon deck. So this one does have, once again, full play sets of all of the legendary cards. And some of them are, once again, used to be very, very valuable. So here we have Galan as our leader. And then we have Ernst's Justice here, which is a pretty good one. Pretty good one, but it's not the spicy one. The spicy one for this deck is Phylene, White Frost Dragon Newt, and we get the full playset of Phylene, which is absolutely fantastic. Now that's the big one for the Dragoncraft deck. We also have Jerva, Worm Transcendent, as the final legendary card. For the rest of the deck, we have Wildfire Tyrannosaur. We have Dragon Devouring Dread. Frostbite Dragon. If you just want big dragons, here you go. This is another good reprint. It's not a legendary card, but it's still a really, really nice reprint because the only place you could get this before was either as a promo or from the previous starters. So this one is actually climbing in price. So this one, another playset of this is really, really nice to have. So that's actually a really good one to get. We also get the White Frost Whisper. We have the White Frost Blizzard. All good Phylene stuff. We have Roy. We have Azure Flame Dragon Newt. We have, I love the art on this one, Pumpkin Dragon. Excellent, excellent. Orbed Cancer. Big crab, space crab. Thunderous Roar. And we have our Evo deck. So for the Evo deck, we have 3 copies of Ernst's Justice. Then we have Frostbite Dragon, Roy's, the Azure Flame Dragon Newt, and then we also have a ton of blank tokens because, well, we don't have any token generators in the deck, so they just give us blank tokens, so you're not like down any cards, which is great. And then we have our Evo points, and of course, our Super Evolution point. This deck is pretty solid. I feel like this one, you don't get quite as many of those really, really nice reprints as something like Sword or Abyss, where you just get like almost all the ones you need. But you do get some really nice ones here. You get the Phylene, and you also get a Dragoncraft staple. You get the Oracle. So still extremely good. Very, 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 very nice if you want to play Dragon here. Next up we have Rune. So Rune is another one. I mean, I'm going to keep saying this. Rune is another one where you get a bunch of competitive staples right out of the box, which is really nice. These ones are newer ones. So if you bought some of the Glory Finder decks, for example, and you got like your Merlins and stuff from the Glory Finder decks, well, you get different stuff here, and they're very good, ones you'd expect. So here's the punch out and the code. Here's your girl, Kaori. I really like her. She's great. And then we also have our legendary cards. We have Ceridwen. Obviously, we have a full play set of Ceridwen, and as you can kind of guess, this is a dirt rune deck, or an earth-right rune deck, and you get all of the staples you need for it, or at least a ton of them. So we have full play set of Ceridwen. Bam, there you go. Full play set of Sweet Tooth Medusa. Bam, there you go. Like this is just exactly what you'd expect, right? And then a full play set of Faust Truth Seeker. Yeah, and there you go. Those are the LRs there, the legendary cards. Yeah, once again, perfect. Exactly what you would need if you wanted to pick up like a Merlin or something. Those actually come in some of the pre-constructed Glory Finder decks. So here we have an Ancient Alchemist. I think one of here is like not too bad. We have 3 Riley Hydro Shaman. I've also done deck text for this before, and you'll see a lot of cards from those. We have Acid Golem, a bit of a newer one. We have Artistic Arcanist. We have the Price of Magic, a single copy of that. We have Gingerbread House, single copy of that. This one is actually restricted, so that makes a lot of sense. We have Summoning Drills, 2 of these. We have the good old Rabbit Mage. Nice magic sentiment generator. Beast-Faced Mage. Teachings of Creation. We have our Red Hot Ritual, 1 copy. Witch's Cauldron, 3 copies. Mirror of Truth is always a pretty nice one. And then we have 2 Grand Spires to round out the main deck. Once again, this is a Earthright deck, and a lot of the cards that you would expect. So here we have the Evo deck. We have our 2 of Sweet Tooth Medusas. We have our 3 Ceridwens. Fantastic, you absolutely need these. Our 1 Ancient Alchemist. We have our 2 Acid Golems, our 1 Arcanist, and then the 1 Rabbit Mage. And then for the tokens, we have Strike Form Golems, we have Guard Form Golems, we have our Magic Sediment, which is fantastic. We have our Instant Poison, our Eternal Potion, and then some Serpents. So the Serpents are obviously for Medusa, and the Potions and Poisons are for Ceridwen. And then, of course, our Evo points and the Super Evo points. So yeah, once again, this is another competitive deck that saw a lot of play, still pretty strong, and just gives you an immediate leg up, you know, if you want to start playing Runecraft. This deck is very like controlling, so if you want to play like a more thoughtful controlling deck, this is a good one for you. And then we have, let's go with Forestcraft next. Forest is interesting because it has a more split set of legendary reprints, whereas these ones each have like full play sets of 3 different ones. This one actually has, I believe it's 2 ofs of 4 different ones, which I think still really works for the deck. So let's kind of open this up and check this one out. So here we have the little punch out, we have the code, and then we have Love Sign. I really like his design. So we have Aria, Miasma Fairy, and I do believe we get 2, we get 3 of her. Okay, we get a ton of legendary, cards in this deck. So we have 3 of Aria, Miasma Fairy, that's fantastic. Then we get 3 of Amataz, Fairy Blader. Some call him the Bald Blader. He's really good for the Fairy deck, absolute staple. Then we get Cynthia, Queen's Blade, so we only get 2 copies of Cynthia. This is what I was thinking of. So you get 3, 3, and then you get 2 and 2, which is still fantastic. So we get our 2 Cynthias, and then we also get our Spinaria Wavering Will. This one is from the Seaside Memories set. So if you kind of passed on that one, here you go. You have 2 copies of this for the deck. So you get a decent number of legendary cards here in the Forest deck. Then we have some staples. We have a Fashionista Nelcha. We have a Titania Sanctuary, Blessed Fairy Dancer, Sakuna Brave and Small, great little burst card, Sunbright Elf, Nature's Guidance. That's a nice one to get cards back to re-trigger their fanfares. We have some elf songs, nice little board pumper, Spirit Shine. Once again, just a lot of these cards you'd expect. Tree of Wonders, Fairy Slugger, and if you don't know much about these at all, then these are just, once again, the perfect starting point. Fabled Archer, this is kind of like an aggro combo deck, where you generate a lot of like fairy tokens, and you have a lot of cards that bounce back to your hand, and you play them again. You try to play a bunch of cards in a turn to sequence things. We have a Fairy Circle, and then for the Evo deck, we have Arya, Miasma Fairy, as a 2 of, and then we have Sakuna Brave and Small. We have Sunbright Elf, and then Fairy Slugger as the final one. And then for the tokens, I imagine we have a bunch of Fairy Wisps and a bunch of fairies with brand new artwork, which is great. Yeah, so we get your Fairy Wisp and your fairies, and then we have our Evo points and our Super Evo point. So yeah, and once again, I felt like I sound like a broken record here, but man, like, these are just so good. They're such a good way to get into the game. I actually wish more TCGs did products like this, not just have like, here's a one of, you know, semi-playable rare. No, it's like, no, dude, here you go. This is like full play sets of like competitive staples. It is so good. So good. All right, and then last but not least, let's go ahead and dive into the Havencraft deck. Now, I do believe this is a big Ward Havencraft deck, a Ward style Havencraft deck. We do have Alexia here on the front. All right. And this one is going to be a more of a controlling style deck. We'll kind of give you an overview of all the decks at the end of this, just kind of like a general. So we have the code. We have Esperanza, the leader. She is fantastic. And then we have the legendary card. So we have Godsworn Alexiel, fantastic staple for this kind of deck. We have Zoe Shore's Melody. This is from the Seaside Memories set. Get 3 of her. And then we do have more cards, more legendaries back here. So we have Sekhmet. We have a 3 of Themis' Decree. Nice board wipe. Just destroy each follower. Vengeful Radiance. Sacred Plea. That's a nice staple there. Globe of the Starways. Also a very, very nice staple. Prism Priestess. Lets you tutor for amulets, which is great. We have Dark Offering. We have Candelabra of Prayers. Moray Incorium. This is a nice little amulet that also doubles as removal. We have the Sacred Gavel. And then we have the other elves in the deck, and they're not Havencraft, so they're kind of in the back, but it's a big one. We get a full playset of Zelganea. This is another card that was extremely valuable at one point in time. We get a full playset. Look at this. You get 3 of Zelganeas here. Super, super good. You can run this in a ton of different decks. That is such a banger reprint here. And then we get some Paradise Vanguards. I guess this is more like Amulet. I said it was Ward because of Alexiel, but I think it's a little bit, definitely leans more into Amulet. So I'm gonna correct myself here and say this is a little bit more Amulet-centric than Ward-centric. But here for the Evo, we get our 3 copies of Alexiel. We will get a Zelganea as well, which is great. We have the Prism Priestess, and then we have our 1 copy Advanced Zelganea. It's fantastic. The Advanced Zelganea was also an extremely expensive card at one point. You only need 1 for a deck, so that's great. And then we have the Paradise Vanguard, and then since we don't generate tokens, we have a whole bunch of blank tokens, and then Evolution, and then Super Evo. So yeah, once again, absolutely fantastic. This one you get a ton of value as well. Once again, like just getting the Zelganeas is so good, and the Zelganea can go in so many different decks. The fact that you get a full playset of the Unevo Zelganea as well is just so good, dude. So yeah, that is all of these decks. So I'll kind of quickly go over like how they play. As I mentioned and mistakenly noted at first, this is actually an amulet control deck. We have a lot of big expensive finishers that kind of help close out the game with Zelganea and Alexiel, all backed up by a bunch of amulets that help give us advantage over the course of the game. A lot of nice removal here, like the Themis' Decree, which is a kind of just a board wiper that destroys all followers, and a lot of other just kind of value. If you like slower, control-y style decks, then this one is a good one for you. That also has some pretty powerful inevitability. We also have the Forestcraft deck. This one is, I would call, an aggro combo deck. You have a lot of low to the ground stuff that can do a ton of damage, like the Amata's Fairy Blader here. But you also have cards that can just combo with other stuff, both in mechanic, but also in like terms of like you play a combination of cards. So you can play a whole bunch of stuff like Sakuna, Brave and Small, and when you evolve her, she can get really big and have Storm, which means you can just attack for a ton of damage out of nowhere. So this is a deck that really rewards players who like sequencing and then being aggressive and having big explosive turns. We have the Runecraft deck. This is another kind of like control style deck where you aim to control a board. You have a lot of 2-for-1 cards that give you a lot of card advantage, cards that will, you use one card and it kills like multiple, 2 or more of your opponent's stuff. I've played this one like competitively before, and I think it's a super fun. It's all about managing your magic sediments, and you have cards that generate these and put counters on them with stack, and then you have cards that like eat them, right? The cards that like use them have Earthright. So yeah, this is a great controlling deck, a great like card advantage style deck, and you can do like some pretty nice bursty stuff out of nowhere with stuff like the Riley Hydro Shaman or the Ancient Alchemist. So we do have a more of like a board control kind of focus. This deck is great, and historically speaking has been a really powerful meta relevant one. We have Dragon. Dragon is your big Timmy deck. If you like playing a lot of just big dudes, like big scary dudes, here you go. This deck has ramp in the form of like Dragon Oracle, as well as I do believe he's at the back here. We have Roy, which helps us go and get stuff like our ramp, which is really nice. And when we evolve, he can deal some nice damage. This deck also has some good 2-for-1s and but also just like big dudes. If you like just big dragons and big dudes, this is a deck for you. We also have Swordcraft. Sword is a traditional aggro deck. You play guys, you turn them sideways. You have some really powerful ones that can get a lot of good advantage, like Not. We have extremely bursty ones that can do a ton of storm damage out of nowhere, like Ralmia, and then some nice engines with like Bunny and Baron. A lot of the cards work really well together. This is a very like themed deck because has a lot of like wasteland cards and a lot of stuff that really cares about Not specifically, and a lot of just really powerful aggressive stuff. Liat is just extremely annoying because it just has Intimidate and Aura, which means it can't be attacked and it can't be targeted, and he just sits there and he just pings your opponent for damage. So yeah, if you like aggressive decks with a little bit more complexity than you might imagine, I think Sword is really good for you. But yeah, Sword's like beep, just kind of punch in for a lot of damage. And then finally, my favorite deck, this one is Abysscraft. This one is a kind of like a mid-rangey deck, I would say. You have a lot of cards that care about cards in your cemetery, so a lot of like necro charge stuff. So we want to fill our cemetery with stuff and then get a lot of good advantage out of that. We want cards that we can play from our cemetery, like Great Pick Corpse, or we have the, where is it, the Wretch. If you play him from your cemetery, you can get some really nice effects, especially from his Evolve. We have really good removal. Yeah, if you like, graveyard, cemetery, synergy decks, then this one is going to be the one for you. Like I said, it's my favorite deck. It's so much fun to play, just like competitively. So yeah, that's these 6 decks. Let me know if you're going to be picking up any of these. I highly recommend it. Now is the perfect time to get into Shadowverse Evolve, especially with these 6 decks. Pick any of these up, sleeve them up, and you'll have a great time. You can still upgrade them from here with some of the new cards, and maybe a little bit of the old cards as well, but man, these give you an amazing starting point. Some of the best in the entire card game industry, in my opinion. So pick one, maybe pick a couple, jam with your friends. I think these are all pretty well matched against each other, and just have a blast. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I really appreciate you for being here, and we'll see you next time.